Let's look at shelf life of products treated with and without HPP. Without on the left side, with on the right side. So you can tell the difference. Mostly 3 to 5 times longer you can extend the life of products. Katakan smoothies, almost 1 month. Orange juice, more than 1 month, compared to the most you can keep your juice without treatment is for 7 days. Even at 7 days, probably the sensory characteristics would have changed. And for cream cheese, it's 150 days. So there's a lot of difference. And this helps with reducing waste and helps with market growth. When dealing with plant products, there's always issues with enzymes, and there's always quality-related enzymes like PPO and lipoxygenase. And this would make products turn brown. For example, in avocado, this is a classic successful case for HPP. Avocado is a product which you cannot thermally treat to inactivate the enzymes, and you have to do something about it. If you don't do any treatment, don't apply any treatment, it will also turn brown quickly. Just like when you use thermal treatment, it turns brown as well. So there must be an alternative for avocado, and HPP seems to be the best bet. And there's so many success stories with this. And I think now in Subway, kita ada add-on, avocado. I suspect they also use HPP for that product. Okay, so for enzymes, HPP could partially inactivate, not fully inactivate the enzymes, but it does help. So for cold pressed juices or cold brewed coffee, HPP is also an alternative, and you can keep your product for about a month. And Starbucks has been using HPP for their product. Okay, when dealing with food, you need to understand both the process and also food. Ini memang tak boleh lari, ya. For process, at least 2 things that you need to pay attention to is pressure and time. This is holding time. For food, it's water activity and pH. So let's look at different pressure ranges. For parasites, it's about 200 megapascal. Yeast and mold, 300. Virus and bacteria, slightly higher. Bacterial spores, like I said earlier, you have to couple it with thermal treatment. Okay, this is a low pressure application of meat product. The control or raw material is on the left side. So you can see that above 300 megapascal, there's some change visually and also in terms of texture. So here what happened was there's a protein denaturation. For oyster, to shuck oyster is not easy. When you use HPP shucking, it becomes so much easier. And you can tell from the difference. Gambar yang tengah itu ialah HPP shucked. You get good quality meat, 100% yield, and think about productivity. To hand shuck oyster, how many minutes do you need? When you use HPP, within 3 minutes, you can shuck so many oysters. And it's all clean with good hygienic quality. So this is a very good advantage for seafood products. The same as lobster, you get 100% yield, good looking lobster meat. So premium product, you can of course sell it at slightly higher price than usual. Okay, the second parameter, holding time, it depends on the type of product. If the product is more acidic, like the orange juice, probably adding or increasing the holding time will not be efficient. Okay, so we do not want to hold the we do not want the holding time to be that long because that would increase cost. So 3 minutes would be enough for orange juice because the pH is 3.6, but for peach juice we probably need to extend the holding time a little bit. In terms of water activity and pH, this is for the food product itself. What I'm showing you is the findings of researchers from Cornell University. They found that water activity above 0.86 would be better for HPP efficiency. For those of you who are not familiar with water activity, the value is between 0 and 1. 1 is considered as wet, 0 is dry. So in this case, the wetter the product, the better. So higher water activity and lower pH could result in a 6-month or greater refrigerated shelf life. Okay, so pH less than 4.6 is recommended, because above 4.6 there might be issues with bacterial spores. This is coconut water. So when you use HPP and thermal treatment, you can extend the life of coconut water 3 times longer than without treatment. However, when you look at sensorial scores, the thermally treated products is not accepted by consumers. So HPP is closer to the fresh product, showing that HPP is the best option in this case. For ready to eat product like chicken patties, it's the same, about 3 times shelf life extension compared to without treatment, with good sensorial properties and maintaining the bioactive compounds that are available in the product. This is the effect of HPP on browning. If you look at the bottle on the left, the bright colored juice is actually HPP treated, and the one on its right is not treated with anything. So the juice turns brown due to enzymatic activity. So there's a big difference there just within 6 days. Packaging is something very critical in HPP, but this is a topic on its own. I'm just going to browse through. You can use bottles, pouches, tops, trays, vacuum packs or skin packs. What's important is the packaging material must be water resistant, flexible and elastic. If you opt to use pouches, it's better to use plastic-based pouches rather than aluminum pouches to ensure that the seal is not broken during HPP treatment. Otherwise, it's going to be a big mess in the vessel. Okay, this is one of the latest news that we received on color indicator or special ink for HPP indicator. So it's telling you whether the product was pressure treated or not, whether the pressure was sufficient or not. So there's a color indicator which would tell the manufacturers. Okay, just like in irradiation, well, after irradiation, you have certain indicators showing the product was irradiated or not. So this is something very, very new. Okay, trends do migrate. For those who would like to be a game changer, this is something to pay attention to. Trends in food processing migrate way slower than technology, meaning I'm talking about telecommunications technology, gadgets, phones, and so on. For food, it will take about 5 to 6 years to migrate. So what's happening now in Japan, for example, will only come to Malaysia 5-6 years down the line. But in terms of marketing, it's a little bit faster, which is 3 to 4 years down the line. So if you want to be a game changer, study what developed countries are doing now and try to produce your product 2 to 3 years down the line instead. Okay, otherwise you'll be the same as everyone. Okay, in the world there are about 500 HPP equipments, commercial equipments installed. 500, yeah. This data is from Hyperbaric, and Hyperbaric alone this year they have installed unit number 300. And for their brand, there's about 37 in Asia. So let's look at what we have in Asia. In India, We have raw pressery, which produces a lot of juice products, including sugarcane juice. So sugarcane, there's always issue. It's always related to roadside beverage, not clean and bad hygiene and so on. So now sugarcane juice can be HPP treated. In Australia, they treat juice and also avocado products and lots of chili and herb products. In Singapore, there's Soup Spoon. Soup Spoon is actually a restaurant producing lots of hearty soups, chunky soups. And for those who would like to tapao, can always get the HPP treated soup product and bring home and enjoy your meal today or tomorrow or the day after. They also have Nyonya Laksa. In Malaysia, most activities are focused on durian paste and also juices. In Thailand, there's a lot of HPP companies processing air kelapa muda. In 2004, there's only 2 units in Thailand, but now they have more than 16 units for this year. So HPP is actually a technology which could really help SMEs and startups, because some of these companies are just small companies, but they know where to direct themselves, they know their target market, so they took advantage of the benefits of HPP. So we can do the same in Malaysia. This is the intention for today. Okay, for SMEs to consider, since HPP equipment is very expensive, it's expensive to buy, to own one, expensive to maintain. So probably to own one is not the case for SMEs at this point. It's better to go to a tolling center. So there are companies who already own these equipments. And you pay only for the services you use. So it might be for one cycle or for various cycles. And most companies accept one cycle production for startups. If we look at this pie chart, let's look at the big chunks, the red one, the gray, the orange, and the green ones. So meat product, fruits and vegetables, beverages, and toll services. 17% for toll services. This is quite popular for larger companies, and most companies that does toll servicing normally starts with logistics business. There are companies which do toll services solely, but most have other supporting businesses as well. So it's good to consider which is good for you, whether you want to have in-house HPP and you produce your own juice, or you want to produce your juice in-house and send it to a tolling center, or you want to own the HPP equipment and offer tolling services to others, or you want to own the equipment and also give other services like produce products, offer information on packaging. You can do contract manufacturing, so it's up to you. There's a lot of routes which you can take depending on your financial support, whether you have space, what is your company's direction, and whether or not you have the expertise and strength in technology. This is one example in Singapore. WLNA is a tolling center which offers so many services under one roof. They offer packaging services, product development services, and also HPP and logistics services. And they can cater for startups, even for one cycle. And one cycle can go from few liters up to 300 liters of food product. So they will charge based on the cycle and sometimes based on volume or weight of the product. There are many tolling centers in the region, and we have one in Malaysia, actually more than one, but I'm showing here just one from Jusu. And some tollers would be eager to process at low volume rate, about 30 cents per bottle, which could be easily absorbed. And the difference is your products can last for more than 1 month compared to only 3 days if not treated. Okay, so if you look at the orange juice on the right side, this is in Jaya Grocer, 250 ml per bottle, and it's only at 10 ringgit. If we go to the mall, we always see lines and lines of people queuing up just to buy fresh juices. And this juice is 10 ringgit. Those in the mall are above 10 ringgit. So it's affordable, actually. Pressure Food is a tolling center in Australia. They started with one equipment in one facility, but because this equipment sometimes it does break down. So when it breaks down, there's a backlog of orders from clients. So they decided to get a second machine and use it alternately with the first equipment. And they found that this seems to be a good model. When they open up a second facility, they immediately used a two-model system and bought two equipments at once. Okay, so this is also an option for those who have solid funding for this type of services. Here are some recent findings on belalai gajah juice. So what we found was that HPP could help maintain the phenolic content and also antioxidant properties of this juice. This is a highly antioxidant-rich juice, and many cancer patients are drinking this type of juice nowadays. And it's clear on the right side that microbial counts are reduced when you use HPP treatment. There are other applications like this one from Stark for beans, to reduce the amount of soaking and cooking time for beans and to remove phytates and tannins in beans. This is what we don't want in beans. There are also people who do liquid infusion, trying to add quercetin, a polyphenol, into fruit materials, in this case berries. And the conventional method is vacuum infusion. HPP seems to infuse the materials at a larger volume and faster compared to conventional method. This is how infusion is done during and after HPP. There are many other infusion methods and materials that could be used, even polyphenols, flavor and aromatics, and they have tried it on many different products. Here are some ideas what we can do in Malaysia: herbal tea, coffee, all those green materials that we have. Kita ada banyak ulam-ulaman ya yang masih belum kita explore potentialnya. So HPP is one alternative. Air kelapa muda, sugarcane juice and all. This is a mostly Japanese product, short drink, and also nasi impit Jepun, rice cake, and also seaport. In Malaysia, we have a lot of seafood and seaport. So no longer need to sedut. You just need to put it through the HPP and knock the shell and the meat will come out easily. Okay, so tak perlu nak sedut lagi lah. Okay, saya dah mention earlier tentang Malaysia focusing on durian paste for export purposes mostly, and also juices. But I don't think we want to stay at this point, and I think we should innovate and create more products using HPP because we have a lot of potential. There's so many to explore. Fruits alone, we have lots of tropical fruits to explore. Fruit juices, fruit paste, making filling and so on. And we have also lots of herbs, RTEs, here, kway teow, noodle and so on. Kueh talam is actually a real problem for the producers because it doesn't last long, and maybe this is something we could explore. Diced onion has been researched and they say that the product becomes way sweeter after HPP treatment. So there's a lot to explore. Or if you want to go through the tolling route, that is your choice. Okay, in the case of Malaysia, awareness is still low at all levels, and regulations and standards we don't have at this point. We are relying on FDA and also Codex. Network strength and support is still loose and weak, but we have an increasing number of experts in the country We have Dr. Alif Dalino from UPM, Dr. Musfira from USM, Dr. Noor Akmazila from UTHM. So these experts went to study from all the great HPP gurus. We should make full use of them because they're in Malaysia. So please tap their knowledge and contact them. So HPP suppliers are also available in the country, tolling centers available, research centers are available. Photo on the right side is a pilot plant in UPM. You can see that it's still empty, but I hope by the end of the year or probably early next year, we'll have a HPP, a commercial scale, installed in this building, and we'll have everything under one roof. There's a juice line and also sausage line for technopreneurs or startups to use and get guidance from. You can also get guidance from tolling centers because sometimes they can help you choose the right packaging material and also help you develop your product further so that you can extend the life of your product to the maximum. Okay. So akhir kata, HPP has potential. Proof of success is clear. There's a lot of success story. The technology is still growing, lots more application that has not been explored. So I hope with this sharing today, we don't stop at the point of dreaming and planning. I think it is time to start taking action and making things happen. But we have to move as a group, help and support each other. So the pie is still big enough to share. Grab a bite and play your role. That's all from me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Noranizan, for a very exciting slide you have shown to us. So maybe Mr. Hadi, kita ada soalan-soalan yang dah berderet tu. Cik Hadi, boleh kita mulakan soalan tak sekarang, Cik Hadi? Bagi masa kita pun dah 10 minit.
Kita ada banyak soalan kat sini, Dr. Nora. Pertamanya daripada
I can always answer later.
Okay, alright. Daripada Nada Itorul Umam, mungkin penanya ni datang daripada Indonesia mungkin. So soalannya ialah, how about application of HPP on bioactive extraction? Is HPP can make bioactive extraction easier? Itu soalan pertama, the first question. The second question is there any special treatment after HPP process to extend product shelf life?
Okay.
So silakan Dr. Nora.
Thank you for the question. Soalan yang baik. Saya akan jawabkan soalan yang pertama dahulu. Bioactive extraction memang boleh. There's a lot of research data showing that it can help with extraction, or it can be used as a pre-treatment for extraction of materials rich with bioactive compounds. Tetapi kebanyakannya adalah masih di peringkat research. Ya, commercial scale kita tak nampak banyak lagi, but it is possible and there's a lot of research articles on that. Yang soalan yang kedua tadi berkenaan dengan treatment after HPP. Normally we look at HPP as the final treatment. Kita kalau sebab kita dah packkan produk itu, we try not to use any other treatment. Kalau tidak, dia redundant and it will add up the cost to your product.
Dr. Nora?
Ya, saya.
Boleh ulang semula jawapan tadi tu, because tadi ada terputus sedikit tadi dalam 10 saat tadi.
Yang soalan kedua ya?
Ya, betul.
Okay, biasanya untuk HPP, we consider HPP as the final treatment of product because the product has already been packed. Any other treatments should be done before the product is being packed. If we do HPP and then we apply another technique after that, it might add up to the cost of your product. So probably redundant ataupun mungkin tidak necessary.
Okay, thank you Dr. Nora.